All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is Carry Code, where we talk about everything EDC, pocket knives, flashlights, screwdrivers, travel essentials, everything that makes you feel good, that makes you passionate about wanting to carry the tools that you need with you every day. That's what we talk about here on this channel. So today we've got a knife review for you. We're going to dive into it. So what do we have today? New knife. What is it? What do you guys think? What does it look like? It's a ZT, zero tolerance. This is the 0044 zero tolerance flipper. Very gentlemanly looking knife, you know, super clean. Very clean knife. I love it. This is totally up my alley. For people that watch this channel, you're going to find out this is really kind of what I am into. Titanium handles, S45VN steel, which I love. I've had that on one of my PM2s that's been one of my daily drivers for years. It just holds up so well. It's so slicey. I love it. So I saw this knife and I just thought, this thing is awesome. I've really got to have it. You know, I don't have very many ZTs in my collection. I think I only have one other one right now. So they don't always appeal to me, but this one just spoke to me. I'm also a big fan of flippers. I love the action. I love that you can do it one-handed. You know, flippers and action lock are kind of where I'm at on things. And if it's a smooth flipper, I really like it. And button locks, I'm kind of, you know, 50-50 on a lot of times, but this one feels pretty good. You know, button locks aren't always as secure as some of the other type of locks like access locks, ram locks, things like that. But this one feels pretty good, and you know, just couldn't pass up the aesthetics of this knife. So I mean, craftsmanship here looks great. You know, it's kind of got that mirrored finish on the blade. A little bit of two-tone here. You got a little like bead blasted up here, and then you've got that kind of mirror blade finish. You've got the bead blasted titanium, both sides titanium, all, you know, single piece kind of per side construction. You know, so great aesthetics here. I really like this kind of light blue finish here on the button lock, a little anodized aluminum probably, maybe anodized titanium, not for sure, but you know, looks great. It's got kind of milled out interior. I don't know if you guys will be able to see down inside there. There you go. There's a good look at it. Milled out titanium. So no other pieces inside there really other than the spacers. So it keeps the weight down pretty nicely. So this thing only weighs 3.4 ounces, so a little bit of heft to it, but I mean, it feels really good. You know, carried it in the pocket a little bit, and you don't really feel it in there. You know, it's very smooth. Great, nice, deep carry pocket clip included. Really like that. You know, ambidextrous, so you can flip it to the other side if you want to. I like that it's nice and clean, and that those holes are already tapped with the threads. So I know some knives, you go to flip them and they're not always tapped well, and then you can strip out your screws. So it's nice that they're taking the time and thinking about quality to go ahead and do that. So made in the USA, made in North America here, 7.55 inches overall length, 3.2 inch drop point blade. You know, super useful blade. So size comparison wise, I think really this is another one in my collection that is a great comparison. Size wise, it is the Benchmade bug out with the aluminum handles that they did a few years ago, and the black blade. So you can see almost the exact same size, very similar profile. Maybe this is where they got their inspiration from. A few other examples here. We got the Kaiser drop bear as well. Very similar size too. And then we'll throw one more up here as well. Let's do the Benchmade Osborne. And say again, that one's probably the longest of the bunch. If you're really comparing it, Yeah, definitely the longest of the bunch, but you know, all very similar. This one is probably the second thickest out of these. You know, the Kaiser Drop Bear is definitely the thickest with those kind of fat carbon scales that one has on it. This one, pretty nice thin scales, but just as the stack up goes, you know, it's a little bit thicker. Benchmade is definitely the thinnest for the bug out, and then you know, the Osborne is just a little bit more than that. You know, I've carried this Benchmade quite a lot over the years, and it is a nice knife. Like I said, it's a great comparison for this one. You know, this one's been super useful with the blade style, the lightweight, you know, the action, and the handles. I really like the all kind of metal construction of it, and a deep carry pocket clip. One of the few Benchmades that actually does have a deep carry pocket clip. So anyway, I know that I really like this knife. So when I saw this, and it takes what I love about that knife and adds a flipper and titanium handles, I was like, I'm in love. I gotta have this. So, you know, buttery smooth. I mean, you guys can probably hear it on the video. This thing, great action out of the box. I've done nothing to this, and you know, it's a little bit harder to do on camera here, but fall closed, you know, on the button lock, super smooth action. There's no assist to it. It is just you flicking it, but it just goes so smooth. And I think this has got the KVT ball bearings in it, which is probably what's doing that there. So those are ceramic coated bearings. So that's just going to make this extra slick and easy to deploy. So fit, feel, finish, like I said, feels great in the hand. Centering looks really good there. You know, quality looks great, feels great. Kind of love this detail here. You know, just a little bit different for the pivot. You know, just gives it that extra little bit of character. Kind of matches the contour of the top of the pocket knife here. So I just think that's a great little detail they added in there as well. So what else about this? You know, I said, I think it's going to fit great in your pocket. You know, this deep carry clip. And, you know, one thing about the kind of all titanium or all aluminum pocket knives, they slide in and out of your pocket really easy. You know, some different, you know, pocket knives, like say one like a Spyderco, it's got kind of this grippier texture on here, right? They don't always slide in and out of your pocket quite as well. But when you've got this nice smooth metal, right, it's just like butter in and out. So it'll keep from tearing up your pants. You know, I've definitely had some knives over the years that just using them day in and day out, the way their pocket clips are situated and everything, that they've kind of torn up some jeans and stuff that I have. So it's just nice when it's nice and smooth, and there's a nice one here. I'll tell you the worst one I ever had for tearing up. There was a special edition Spyderco Paramilitary 2 that came out a couple of years ago in an aluminum handle, and it had this kind of like spiral texture to it, and it was just like sandpaper. So if you tried to put that in your pocket, think of aluminum sandpaper, it just shredded every time you went in and out with the pocket clip. So, you know, just something to think about, but, you know, really does go in. Very premium in-hand feel. I mean, it's one of the better feeling knives, quality-wise, that I've handled recently. So I just think it looks great. It feels great. It's not too bulky. It's super fidgety. I think it would be a great EDC knife. I think this is, if you want one knife to kind of carry around, I think this would be really, really good for you to be the knife that you carry. You know, that blade shape, the size of it, the weight of it, the materials. This is a knife that's going to last you a long time if it's your only knife. The S45VN steel, like I said, it's super sharp, super slicey. It holds an edge pretty well too. Like I said, I've had it on a lot of Spydercos, and it feels great. If there's anything outside of MagnaCut that I tend to go towards, it tends to be the S45VN, because it's just, like I said, it stays sharp. It's super slicey. You can have a thin edge with it. And, you know, the price isn't crazy on a lot of the knives that have it. So I just think you get a lot of value there. So just kind of summarizing, you know, pros: exceptional build quality and finish, super smooth. The button action is satisfying. You know, it's got the durable, high performance S45VN blade steel. It's pretty lightweight, very ergonomic in the hand. It's just the right length for me. And I have a fairly large hand here, so you can see just enough there on the handle length. So really great size, made in the USA, has the deep carry reversible pocket clip. It's got some nice fine details. They really thought it through. You know, you've got the zero tolerance name even written down in here, inside the handle, that's kind of milled out. So just the extra little details are nice. So cons, you know, it's not the lightest. So if you're looking for a truly minimal knife, you know, this might not be it. This is not going to compete with the Bug Out for ultra lightweightness. There's certainly other ones out there that are going to be just a little bit lighter. But you know what? It's just a great looking knife. So now the other con is, of course, the price. You know, with many of these knives, these premium titanium handle knives, you know, they don't come cheap. So this one right now is going for about $340. So it's not cheap, but it can be the knife that is your only knife, if that's what you're into. If you really want to, you know, look at doing one knife that's going to work for you, that's going to last for a long time. I mean, there's almost nothing that can go wrong with this knife unless you wear out the bearings, which I don't think would be super likely for you to do. But, you know, the blade steel is really going to hold up well. The handles are going to be damn near indestructible, and there's hardly any other components to this. So, I mean, this is going to be a knife that can last you for a long time, that you can pass down if you want to somebody else in your family. And then if you're a collector, I just think it's a great one. You know, of all the ones that ZT makes, you know, there's some out there designs and looks. I haven't seen many from them that have this clean of an aesthetic. And so you get that ZT sliciness, that ZT, you know, action on the flipper. So if you love a flipper, this thing's great. And it's just such a classic gentleman's look. You know, this is a knife that anybody could carry. You know, a tradesman could carry it, or a CEO could carry it. It could fit in any pocket. So it's just all about what you're looking for, what price you're willing to pay. But for the materials, for the feel, for the fit and finish, you know, this thing is great at this price point. I would definitely be buying this over a lot of Benchmades, you know, that are out there in this same kind of price point. You know, I just talked about the Mini Crooked River recently. I'd take this one for $20 more all day. That other one, you know, the Mini Crooked River looks cool. You know, let me grab it real quick so we can look at it. You know, it looks cool. It has a cool aesthetic. The action is not anywhere near as good though. It does have a more classic look. So if you're looking for a more classic, rugged huntsman look, you know, this one is going to be better. But for my money, I'm going to go with this ZT. I just love it. I think it looks great. And I don't think you can go wrong with anything about it. So just to wrap it up, elegance, function, craftsmanship, fit, feel, finish. This thing is great. Great aesthetics. $340. Link is down in the description if you want to buy it. You know, I'd appreciate it if you'd use my link. I get a small little kickback for any purchases you make using the links below. So all the knives I talked about today, I'll have linked down there. If you're interested in any of them, follow the link. It'll take you right to the website to be able to purchase them. And if you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Could really use your help growing the channel. so I can continue to bring you guys new reviews and cool stuff to look at from an EDC perspective. So thanks again for tuning in. Have a great night.